from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Neighbors are reacting in a northeast side neighborhood after a man exposed himself at multiple homes.
And police are investigating the death of Ivana Trump, the ex-wife of former President Donald Trump, who was found unconscious and unresponsive at the bottom of some stairs.
And outside with live cam, some of you won the rain lottery yesterday. There were some high winds as well. Mike Ostrage is going to talk to us about what to expect for our weekend forecast. But first, we have one more work to get through. Good morning, everybody. It's Friday, July 15th.
We made it to Friday. Thanks for joining us. I got lucky. We got rain. What about you?
A little bit of rain. I know there were some heavier storms in other parts of town. I saw just a few power outages on the CPS map this morning, Mike Ostrage.
A couple of those storms did reach severe levels with some of that high wind. But yeah, I mean, it was feast or famine, definitely. And you can draw a line just about cutting city in half. And that's who got the rain and who didn't. But let's just look back and just kind of savor this picture for a second here as the satellite radar loops back 12 hours. And yeah, those storms developed actually a little bit ahead of schedule about late afternoon and moved through then right around dinner time into the early evening hours. Had some pretty good lightning strikes and yeah, rainfall amounts, believe it or not, at the airport, 0. That was it. I got a couple of sprinkles at my house and it didn't really amount to anything. Right now we have mostly clear skies. Beautiful. Look up and see the moon a couple of days past full, just kind of heading over toward the southwestern sky. 76 degrees right now, so we're almost down to a normal low temperature. 74 Port SA, Converse, and even some 60s in portions of the hill country. And then also check out dew points. You can almost cut the area in half horizontally. Pretty humid down to the south, much lower humidity. I mean, mid and even some lower 60s around here for these dew points. So that's really, really comfortable. We don't have any bit of a heat index here in town. Down around Stinson, it does feel like 79 degrees as of right now. So we did have there's actually a little bit of kind of a front, if you will, lying across the area. Mold is on the low side. It'd be interesting to see if that goes up thanks to some of this moisture around here. Look at that. What do you see on this graphic? What don't you see? No triple digits. 97 for a high temperature. There's a lot of models that are actually going cooler than that, but I think, any little bit of sunshine peaks out, it's just going to be like a blowtorch heating things up. But 97, still a small chance for a couple of showers around here, kind of like what we had then the first portion of the week. Not a repeat of yesterday, but at least there's another chance for some rain. Weekend forecast coming up in just a couple of minutes. Steph, Mark.
Thank you, Mike. People in the northeast side neighborhood are on high alert after San Antonio police say a man went to multiple homes exposing himself in the middle of the night. Now, residents' doorbell videos caught the guy on camera. Neighbors say he's been on their street, Vail Crest, at least 3 times since Sunday. So that's located near Nacogdoches and Thousand Oaks. And they believe he's hit at least 10 homes in the area, even jumping over one woman's fence.
I can't describe waking up and looking at your camera and seeing a naked man standing in front of your windows, bending over, trying to look into your house. I feel violated, absolutely violated.
You don't know what that next move's going to be. You know what's in his head and what he's thinking.
And both people who talked to our crews, they said they wanted to remain anonymous. Police are telling us they are investigating and working on getting an ID by using the videos that they were given.
President Joe Biden will visit Palestinian leaders in the West Bank today. It's a moment when there's little chance of reviving peace talks with Israel. Biden expects to announce more than $300 million in aid to the Palestinians. No one expects peace talks to begin soon as Israel braces for another election and the Palestinian leadership is facing declining support.
The state of Texas is challenging an executive President Joe Biden order that President Joe Biden signed last week that forbids healthcare providers from denying abortions in certain situations. The Department of Health and Human Services says state laws cannot forbid abortions in medical emergencies. The federal government has the authority to revoke Medicare and Medicaid funding from institutions that violate that order. Texas is arguing the Emergency Medical Treatment and Labor Act does not allow the federal government to force providers to perform abortions. The suit claims the new guidance forces hospitals to decide between violating state law or potential losing federal reimbursement.
Senator Joe Manchin will not support climate or tax provisions in the Democratic economic package. That's the message the West Virginia Democrat sent to Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. The two have been negotiating on the package for months. Manchin's refusal comes despite a number of concessions Schumer made to pare back the climate provisions. One source said Manchin is open to lower prescription drugs prices and a 2-year extension of Affordable Care Act subsidies. However, that's all Democrats are likely to get in the package. They need all Senate Democrats on board in order for it to pass. Well, now to the death of Ivana Trump, the first wife of former President Trump, found dead in her New York City apartment.
Police are investigating whether she fell down some stairs. ABC's Mona Abdi has the details.
This morning, former President Trump and his children are in mourning after the passing of his first wife, Ivana Trump. Shortly after noon on Thursday, NYPD officers responded to a call at the 73-year-old's Manhattan apartment. Trump found unconscious and unresponsive at the bottom of a staircase. She was pronounced dead at the scene. Her ex-husband announcing her death on social media, saying, quote, "She was a wonderful, beautiful, and amazing woman who led a great and inspirational life. Her pride and joy were her 3 children, Donald Jr., Ivanka, and Eric. She was so proud of them, as we were all so proud of her. Rest in peace, Ivana." Ivanka Trump posted this picture of her with her mother, writing, quote, "Mom was brilliant, charming, passionate, and wickedly funny. She lived life to the fullest. I will miss her forever." Son Eric seen leaving her home.
It's been a very sad day, guys. Very sad day.
She and the man she called the Donald remained close. Ivana saying the former president even offered to make her ambassador to the Czech Republic.
But I said I would not have a freedom. Bye-bye to Miami in the winter, bye-bye to New York in spring and fall, bye-bye to Saint-Tropez when I spent all summer long, so I declined.
The former power couple friends until the very end. Mona Abdi, ABC News, New York.
436, 75 degrees.
From hamburgers to meatballs, ground meat is used in a lot of meals. Coming up, an important warning about bacteria and how you can avoid it.
Same story, different verse for the San Antonio Spurs in the NBA Summer League last night. We have details coming up.
And taking a look outside with TransGuide, right now we have a crew actually headed out to New Mathis Road and Cannonwood Drive in the Bexar County area. Right now looking right there at Highway 90 at Couples where things are moving.
And outside with live cam this morning, go outside if you can just for a minute, even enjoy. It's beautiful out there this morning, mid-70s. Hey, we are seeing a few flashing lights there on 410 eastbound by the airport. We'll see if we can get some more information on that one. We'll be back. San Antonio Spurs going up against the Atlanta Hawks last night, looking for their first win in the NBA Summer League. Great start for 20th overall pick Malachi Branham, driving inside for the pull-up jumper in traffic. Later in the quarter, defense turning to offense. Josh Carlton with a block on one end, and then Branham converts on a 23-footer on the other end. San Antonio leads 21-20 after one. Second quarter, fellow first-rounder Blake Wesley takes control. First, he hits a tough turnaround jumper. Then he blows by a defender at the top of the key and drives for a lay-in. San Antonio leads 49-36 at the break. Third quarter, Wesley stays hot after inbounding the ball. Gets back and drains this three. San Antonio enters the fourth quarter leading 70-61, but the Hawks rally behind Tyson Etienne, who scores 8 straight points and gives the Hawks their first lead since the first quarter. With 26 seconds to play, Atlanta makes one more play. After the timeout, Etienne drives and scores on an acrobatic layup. San Antonio cannot answer. They fall 87-86, still winless in Summer League play. Spurs will play one more game on Saturday or Sunday with the team and time yet to be determined. San Antonio Mission's Big 12 Media Days continued yesterday at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, with the Texas Longhorns up next after finishing 5-7 in the first season for head coach Steve Sarkisian. Longhorns are picked to finish 4th this season. That's behind Baylor, OU, and Oklahoma State. As the Longhorns prepare to leave the Big 12 for the SEC by at least 2025, focus now on competing for the Big 12 championship this season. Now to those Missions taking on the Amarillo Sod Poodles again last night. Coming off that big win Wednesday, Missions got on the scoreboard early and didn't even allow those poor Poodles to score. San Antonio gets its 5th shutout victory of the season, final 6-0.
Yep. Poor sod poodles this time around.
I have no sympathy this morning.
Oh, I see. Time now, 4:42 and 75 degrees for now. And still ahead, if ground meat is on the menu later tonight, listen up what you need to do before you start serving up your favorite dish.
And when it comes to this summer's travel troubles, how some travelers are taking matters into their own hands when it comes to keeping up with their checked bags.
And welcome back. It's 4:45. Lost luggage continues to be a nightmare for air travelers this summer, and ABC's Gio Benitez has those details in today's GMA First Look.
In this morning's GMA First Look, tracking lost luggage.
The airline was completely unable to track my bags.
Stacks of lost luggage, the scene at many airports during the summer of travel mayhem.
I am expecting summer 2022 to be the worst period for missing bags ever.
But now some travelers are taking action by placing trackers in their checked bags. After Matt Maines traveled with his family of 4 to Europe, he says they arrived to their location, but their luggage never did. But he put air tags in all of their bags, and he says he was able to tell the airline where to locate his luggage.
I was able to show them on my phone exactly where to look for the bags.
And coming up at 7 a.m., we'll have the expert tips you need to get both you and your luggage to that final destination. With your GMA First Look, I'm Gio Benitez, ABC News.
Food poisoning from raw meat has made a lot of people sick in recent years.
12 on your side's Marilyn Moritz has some important test results and what you should always do when cooking ground meat.
Hamburgers to meatballs, ground meat is often on the menu. Consumer Reports tested 351 samples of ground beef, pork, chicken, and turkey bought nationwide and found salmonella in samples of each meat. In a beef sample, they also found a dangerous strain of E. coli. When they notified the government, it triggered a recall in 7 states, not including Texas.
The strain of E. coli should not have been found in the meat, period. There is a zero tolerance policy, and for good reason. It can kill, and it is hard to treat.
Consumer Reports says their findings highlight serious flaws in meat production and government oversight. So why is ground meat potentially more dangerous?
When you buy a steak, that steak comes from one cow. However, when you buy ground beef, that is made up from the meat of many cows. And if one of those meat sources is contaminated, it can contaminate the whole lot, which could be composed of many pounds of ground beef.
And ground chicken, nearly 1/3 of the samples contained salmonella. CR shared its results with producers. Purdue said only 5.5% of samples it recently spot checked were positive for salmonella, far lower than CR. 36%. Walmart said it began a salmonella interventions program in 2014. And Whole Foods said it has a quality assurance team that assesses salmonella reports from the USDA. So what can you do? Well, be sure to cook ground meats thoroughly. That means no guessing. Use a meat thermometer to be sure. 165 degrees for ground poultry and 160 for ground pork and beef. Use a dedicated cutting board for raw meat and wash your hands often. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
Checking traffic right now. Steph, we saw those flashing lights by the airport. I think that's construction right now, but there's 90 at Couples. And what we cannot see is a deadly crash that has occurred down in southeast Bexar County off New Mathis Road. Our Jonathan Cotto just got on the scene, and we are hoping for an update coming up closer to the top of the hour in our next half hour.
And right now, 4:48 and 75 degrees. It's a little cooler this morning after some of us got some rain.
Oh, it's a huge difference.
Yes.
You notice it when you walk out to the car this morning?
Definitely. And then I noticed last night just the smell of rain was exciting.
It was.
And it was great when temperatures, we got up to 102. We had dropped down so quickly. We had some of those outflow boundaries and temperatures knocked down a good, say, 6, 7, even close to 10 degrees in some cases when those storms and those little mini outflow boundaries, mini cool fronts, if you will, moved on through. A lot of rain gauges, a lot of gardens, lawns, and everything else, and folks are very happy. Yep, our good friend Ivana says, so blessed to get some rain last night. Hopefully more is on the way. We do have a small chance later on today, kind of like what we had early on in the week. Not a repeat, unfortunately, of yesterday. Right now, we got a lot of clear skies out there, and you can see exactly who got the rain. Cut the area basically in half. Now, down along the coastal plain, a lot of it, and a few, showers scattered about in in, say, Guadalupe, Wilson, Atascosa County, but west of 281, I mean, from Fredericksburg down in toward southeast Medina County, and then heading in toward Cotulla, you definitely got the lion's share of rain. Look at some of these rainfall amounts. That spot, that bullseye right there, 4 inches. These are radar estimates. And then right around Bernie, about 1.5 inches or more than that. And Gillespie County, just a little bit more than 2 inches of rain. And again, even on the northwest side around Helotes and there around Bandera 410, about 1 inch of rain, and then more over there in, well, just in and around Medina Lake. And yeah, if you were east or west of, east of 10, you probably didn't get any, maybe a couple of drops. Got a couple of drops at my house, and that was it. But then look at that, around Leon Valley, about 1 inch of rain. So it was beautiful. We do have a little bit more around here today, but again, it's going to be really, really hit or miss. So temperatures are finally down closer and will be down closer to normal readings. 75 this morning. That is the normal average low temperature. We will warm up to 90 today at noon, and yep, no triple digits. There are a lot of computer models that are actually wanting to keep us in the mid to lower 90s today. I'm really not buying into that, just because I think any little bit of sunshine that we have, and we'll just have partly cloudy skies, will heat things up very, very quickly and easily. However, 97, still a couple of degrees above normal, and then that 20% chance for 1 or 2 of those showers out there, which is what computer models are indicating. Again, just those couple of pop-ups here and there scattered about the area. If you get some rain, consider yourself very fortunate. That'll last on into the evening hours, and then after that, as of right now, that's it. And guess what happens to thermometers? We won't talk about that yet. 90 at noon today, partly cloudy skies, and then a high temperature makes it up to 97. A couple of stray showers will pop up here and there. Going for just staying just shy of 100 tomorrow. And should I stand in front of the right-hand side of this screen over here? I'm going to do this.
I think that's a good idea. That covers up what we don't want to see.
97 today, 99 tomorrow. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, we'll take that. No, go back. No, I'm just kidding.
It's going to get hot again in the middle of next week. So
97 degrees today.
Yeah.
Okay, way better than, say, 106, 107, right?
You're not kidding about that.
451, about 75 degrees.
You're staying inside to beat the heat. There are a lot of new options on streaming and in theaters this weekend. We're going to have a preview.
Just about 5 till, a father-daughter road trip movie debuts on Amazon Prime. Plus, Dancing with the Stars gets a new co-host.
Well, it is. So what's happening in Hollywood? Here's ABC's Jason Nathanson.
I need you to drive.
I didn't know your headaches were this bad.
You never tell me anything.
A father-daughter road trip is at the center of the new movie Don't Make Me Go, starring John Cho and teen newcomer Mia Isaac, who tells me she wasn't aware of her co-stars Harold and Kumar past when she booked the gig.
I remember getting off of the director's callback, and I was like, yeah, apparently I'm supposed to be working with this guy, John Cho, and my parents were like, John Cho? And I was like, and then of course they had me watch everything, and I was a true John Cho fan by the time we got to New Zealand.
That seems like irresponsible parenting, if you ask me.
Don't Make Me Go is out today on Prime Video.
Prosecution has announced it will seek the death penalty.
Opening wide in theaters this weekend, the adaptation of the wildly popular coming-of-age murder drama novel Where the Crawdads Sing will face off against the animated adventure Paws of Fury, The Legend of Hank.
There must be so many others like me.
And the critically acclaimed stop-motion comedy Marcel the Shell with Shoes On expands into theaters across the country.
Drum roll, please.
Dancing with the Stars will have a new co-host. Former winner Alfonso Ribeiro will lead the show alongside Tyra Banks this upcoming season, which we previously learned will be moving from ABC to Disney+. And Oscar-winning actor Forrest Whitaker with a birthday today. He's 61, while comedian Gabriel Fluffy Iglesias is 46. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Los Angeles.
I love Fluffy.
Yeah, he's very popular here.
He is so funny. 456, about 75 degrees.
And still ahead on GMSA, President Biden will be walking a diplomatic tightrope as he heads to Saudi Arabia later this morning.
Plus, how Google is breathing new life into old computers with a unique new operating system. We have details coming up in your morning Tech Bites.
And taking a look at TransGuide. There's a look there at I-35 at FM 725. Flashing lights. I'm not sure if that's construction, but Stephen Cavazos just walked in the studio. We'll be checking in with him after the break.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
President Biden visiting Saudi Arabia. I'm ABC's Jay O'Brien in Washington. Coming up, what he will talk about and what the White House says he won't.
And taking a look outside with live cam. It's a nice morning. It's Friday and it's 75 degrees right now.
Yep. Very pleasant out there. Good morning, everybody. We've made it to Friday the 15th.
Thanks for joining us. What a wonderful evening. I got to see rain. I feel very lucky that I did. You saw rain as well?
Just a little bit of rain, but some of you got quite a bit of rain, and it was going sideways, lightning, thunder, the whole shebang.
Yeah, we had some of those outflow boundaries move on through there. I mean, the clouds got really dark, and it was nice. We still hit 102 for a high temperature yesterday. As expected, it was going to be really hot before that rain moved on in here. Some folks, like the airport, didn't see a drop of rain. Zero officially out there at the airport. One nice little benefit on the backside of it, though. Notice how winds are out of the northeast at 5 miles per hour, and we're at 76 degrees, which still a degree above normal, but that's the closest we've been to a normal low temperature, which is 75. And again, it seems like forever. That dew point here at the airport is at 67 degrees, which means even compared to the past couple of days, the humidity is slightly lower. 97 for a high temperature today. Yep. No triple digits, no heat advisories, nothing like that out there. The aquifer went down 0.4 of a foot. Now, that reading was taken before the rain moved in, and a lot of that rain fell in the recharge zone, so that hopefully will be going up. And, of course, check with your local municipality as far as any watering restrictions. Mold is on the low side from yesterday's count. Yeah, so the somewhat drier air moving in here with this front kind of lying across the area. We've got dew points, 73 Castroville, 72 down around Pleasanton, and then the mid 60s. And I know it's not, this huge difference, but there is this feature kind of lying across here, and that's what's been keeping some of this, or pulling in some of this drier air. And that's also going to be kind of the focal point for a couple of more showers to pop up later on. So not bad north, a little bit more humid down to the south this morning. Mid to upper 90s. Yep, that's it. A couple of stray showers going to be popping up here and there, sort of like what we had the first part of the week. Not, unfortunately, a repeat of what we had yesterday. Tomorrow, still going to be hot, not quite 100. I'm going to keep it just a degree below that, but don't get used to it because hundreds and then getting hotter Sunday and going into next week. So more heat advisories are probably going to be in the offing by the middle portion of next week. All the details for the weekend coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, Stephen Cavazos. Morning, sir. Happy Friday. Is it a happy Friday?
It is a happy Friday, Mike. I also got a little bit of rain, so I'm happy about that. But we know drivers, they're probably not happy about the situation that they're seeing right now. 35 at FM 725. This is actually in New Braunfels where we're seeing some striping work taking place. Thankfully, it's nothing major, but according to TxDOT, this should have wrapped around 5 this morning. We'll give them some time. It's only 2 minutes after. So we got to make sure that we watch out there because that is where we're seeing that buildup along the northbound lanes there at I-35, along I-35, near FM 725. We'll watch it closely. If we still see that buildup, of course, we're going to look for those alternative routes for you. But just keep that in mind if your travels are going to take you in this direction. Let's go ahead and give you a wide look at the metro area because we're not seeing a lot of issues, at least from what we saw on TransGuide. You can see it's pretty quiet. However, we can't say the same out in the southeast side of Bexar County. Let's go ahead and take you a little bit further right here. This is area where we talked about that deadly crash that happened earlier this morning, New Mathis Road and Canyonwood Drive. And that's actually outside of Loop 1604, just off of I-37. So Jonathan Cotto is there live this morning. Jonathan, it's a pretty dark area, but what are the conditions looking like right now?
Good morning, Stephen. Thank you. Right now, I am located right off of New Mathis Road, off of Canyonwood here in the Sandy Oaks area, not too far off of I-37, as you mentioned. TID and Bexar County Sheriff's Office right now arriving to the scene shortly after 2 o'clock this morning. What they're dealing with right now is this single vehicle deadly crash. We know a man in his mid-20s is involved in this crash. He was pronounced dead at the scene by EMS. Right now, TID trying to piece together the details of this incident. I can tell you that the driver was driving down New Mathis Road after leaving a bar. He was traveling east on New Mathis and crashed into the embankment in front of this house right here that you can see on your screen right now, in front of the folks, the homeowners stepping outside of their porch and just, I'm sure they're in shock of seeing what's taking place right in front of their homes. But again, this is involving a male in his 20s right now that was pronounced dead at the scene. TID piecing together those details again, but of course this crash is under investigation. As more information is made available, we'll give you those updates. Reporting live from Sandy Oaks, Jonathan Cotto, KSAT 12 News.
Well, what could have been a tragic situation now being called an absolute miracle by San Antonio emergency crews. That's after a teen who got swept up in high waters in a drainage ditch was rescued alive. It happened around 7:30 last night in the 200 block of Dewson, north of Woodlawn Lake. San Antonio Fire Chief Charles Hood said crews were called for a reported drowning in the area after recent rain. When officials arrived, they found a 13-year-old boy had slipped on an embankment while walking with his family and fell into the high water in a drainage ditch. Chief Hood said they had a boat on the lake searching for the teen. He was underwater and almost ended up lost in the dark, but then he heard voices and followed the emergency lights and walked out to rescuers.
He was walking out, kind of crouching very low in there. He saw our lights and we heard his voice, and so we were able to get him. But our crews were probably in there about a mile each direction. So he probably traveled a mile and a half to 2 miles through all the different curves and of that tunnel system.
The chief reiterated how dangerous these downpours can be. He said a lot of times it's a body recovery, so they're extremely happy they were able to locate this teen.
The heat is putting the grip on our energy grid, and residents have been asked to conserve. But what about big companies and large buildings? The city of San Antonio is considering a plan that would put an energy benchmark on local companies to see how much energy they're using. Now, that push is part of a nationwide effort to lower greenhouse emissions. The San Antonio City Council will hear the energy benchmark draft proposal later this year, and it would impact companies with buildings larger than 50,000 square feet.
This morning, President Biden is planning to make his controversial trip to Saudi Arabia.
The president looking to reset the U.S. relationship with that key security ally and boost the flow of oil to help lower gas prices. ABC's Jay O'Brien has more from Washington.
As President Biden wraps up the Israeli leg of his Mideast tour, all eyes now turn to Saudi Arabia and what he'll say to Saudi officials today about the 2018 murder of Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi, which the CIA concluded was ordered by Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman.
What will you say to Saudi leaders, specifically to Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, about the Khashoggi murder?
My views on Khashoggi have been absolutely positively clear. And I have never been quiet about talking about human rights.
On the campaign trail, Biden condemned the killing.
In fact, make them pay the price and make them, in fact, the pariah that they are.
But the administration now saying the trip's purpose is to stabilize the Middle East, strengthen the U.S.-Saudi alliance, and discuss ways the kingdom can help the U.S. outcompete adversaries like Russia and China. Many hoping the presidential visit to the world's top oil exporter will help bring down soaring gas prices at home.
The United States understands that Saudi Arabia continues to be an incredibly important player in the global energy market. I think they would like to see more oil coming out of OPEC.
And the meeting coming amid a historic announcement from the Saudi government officially opening its airspace to all Israeli air carriers, marking a new era of civilian travel between the two countries. President Biden will also fly today from Tel Aviv, Israel to Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. He will be the first American president to travel that route. Jay O'Brien, ABC News, Washington.
508, 75 degrees.
And coming up next, we'll look at 3 area restaurants that are dealing with a number of basic health violations.
Outside with live cam, it's actually really nice out there this morning. Just about right temperature-wise, 75 degrees at San Antonio International Airport. But Mike says, yeah, the heat will return in full force this weekend. Welcome back. Well, from unclean dishes and utensils to improper hand washing and insects in the sink.
A number of basic health violations landing 3 restaurants in this week's Behind the Kitchen Door. Tim Gerber has the details.
Genesis Restaurante, located in the 1800 block of Buena Vista Street, came in with a nearly failing score of 70. A Honduran restaurant racked up 20 violations during its routine inspection back on June 3rd. That included raw chicken stored above beef and cheese, dirty food containers that were stored as clean. Kitchen workers were seen starting work after only washing their hands with water. That's probably because there was no hand soap in the kitchen or bathrooms. Dead cockroaches and insect droppings were also found in a drawer. 13 violations were corrected on site. Next up, El Siete Mares in the 3800 block of Commerce Street. They got a 79 on their inspection in early June. The inspector found food inside the cold hold that was outside the required temp, so it was thrown out. Food plates that were supposed to be clean were dirty with food debris, and a container used to store utensils was dirty with a buildup of dust. 2 dead roaches were found in a sink. 8 of the violations were corrected on site. Finally, Mittman Fine Foods in the 1100 block of Mittman Street came in with an 82. The longtime owner said the inspector came at a bad time.
If we're real busy, when the inspector comes, of course, he's going to find a mess in the kitchen.
6 of the violations noted by the inspector were repeat violations. Employees were prepping food without hairnets or hats. Some employees didn't even have the required food handler's permit. 5 of the violations were corrected on site. The owner said they updated those permits and passed a re-inspection.
She already came out and she agreed with everything that we fixed what she told me to fix.
That's what's behind the kitchen door this week. Tim Gerber, KSAT 12 News.
And time now, 5:14 and 75 degrees for now.
Google is releasing new software that can run on old PCs and Macs.
And a quick look outside with TransGuide. There are those flashing lights again at I-35 at FM 725. Things are slowing down in that area. And we also have a crew, not on the screen, but at New Mathis Road and Cannonwood Drive. Jonathan Cotto is out there, and we'll have a live report from him later on.
Welcome back. 5:16. Instagram introducing new features for creators to increase their revenue and for their fans to get exclusive content. ABC's Andrew Dimpert has details in today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, more ways to make money on Instagram. Creators using the subscriptions feature will be able to lock posts and reels behind a paywall, making them subscriber only. Paywall-specific items will have a purple crown and a crown symbol so that they're easy to see. A new version of Chrome OS has hit the market. Chrome OS Flex is aimed at businesses and schools. It can also be used to convert older PCs and Macs into Chromebooks, and it's billed as more hack-proof than Windows. Nearly 40% of Gen Z is now using TikTok and Instagram for searches instead of Google, and that's according to Google itself. The TikTok format, which other platforms are copying, is changing the way young people conduct internet searches. Well, Google might want to start searching for answers as to why it's happening. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
5:18 on your Friday morning.
And still problems up there in New Braunfels, I-35. Let's go ahead and check back with Stephen Cavazos.
Yeah, we were really hoping this would wrap up by 5 a.m. Unfortunately, 18 minutes past the hour, we are still seeing some pretty significant slowdowns along the northbound lanes of I-35. This is a shot from FM 725, and you can see that we still have those flashing lights out there. Crews are working to improve the roadways, so we want to make sure we give them a break. But we know traffic right now doesn't look like it's getting any better. In fact, we've seen it get progressively worse in those northbound lanes where we see that work taking place. I am still combing through some alternative routes. Hopefully you won't really need that, but you see the buildup there. It's not really stretched so bad, but it's not looking pretty. So we want to make sure that you can watch out carefully in that area, but still seeing some issues out over here outside of Loop 1604 on the southeast side where we do have that deadly crash that Jonathan Cotha was just at. This is located off New Mathis Road and Cannonwood Drive, and as you just saw a few minutes ago where Jonathan was at, it is very dark out there, so we want to make sure that first responders are given plenty of time to clear this scene up. Unfortunately, sad news for a driver out there after he lost control of his truck, but we're going to watch that closely. We're going to hear from Jonathan a little bit later on in the newscast, but right now, some relief elsewhere on the roads as we give you a wide look at the map. Just a lot of active construction scenes, so make sure you watch out there, but travel times still looking good if you're going to be heading into the Alamo City. Just remember to drive carefully. We're going to continue to watch this closely, and hopefully we'll see some progress as the morning does roll on, guys.
All right, thank you very much, sir. And some of us got rain.
Yes,
but not all.
That was exciting.
Yeah, who saw this picture yesterday in your front yard, backyard with wet street? What is that? Wet streets, I think.
Yeah.
What that look like?
Yeah,
everything's wet out there. What the heck's going on?
Exactly. What was that stuff falling from the sky? It was great to see. This is 1604 and 90, and that's where the majority of the rain fell, was in western Bexar County and counties off to the west and northwest. Really east of 10, east of 281, there was that big dry slot. Didn't get much of anything, and then further off to the east along the coastal plain, there were a few of those showers as well. Out there at the airport, we do have mostly clear skies as of right now, and temperatures really aren't that bad at all. We are at 76. 75 is the normal low temperature. We'll not drop down another notch before the morning's over. 73 Converse, 60s in parts of the hill country, and the humidity is also pretty tolerable this morning, unlike some recent mornings around here. So again, we'll drop down to a normal low temperature for, again, it seems like the first time in forever. We'll have a lot more sunshine today. 90 today at noon, and then some computer models are keeping us only, say, around 94 for high temperature. I just really am not buying into that. Hopefully I get proved wrong with it, but I just think with any of the sunshine that comes out, and the way things have been going, it's going to heat us up very, very quickly. Going for 97 for high temperature today. Also, one or two of those showers going to be popping up later on this afternoon. Kind of like what we had earlier in the week, not a repeat of what we had yesterday with that nice big storm system, that cluster that moved on in here. So again, just a few of these showers. A couple of thunderstorms. This model has the majority of them off to the south and maybe off to the west later on today. Again, consider yourself kind of lucky if you do get some rain today, and most of us, unfortunately, will not be getting it as far as any rain after today. Also after today, we are going to see a return of some of the Saharan dust. It's going to start to increase as we get in toward Sunday and then the first part of next week. So we're going to have those really, really orangey sunrises and sunsets. And then on top of that, temperatures are going to be starting to go up as we go into Sunday and then throughout the middle part of next week. 90 at noon today, partly cloudy skies. High temperature is going to make it up to 97. One or two of those stray showers out there. Again, most of us won't be seeing rain today. And going for 99 tomorrow. We stay just below that infamous triple-digit number, but yeah, they will return. 100 Sunday, and then we will continue to heat up. And Weather Services indicate it's looking at more heat advisories to be posted by the mid to latter portion of next week, and probably even perhaps some excessive heat warnings.
Until then?
Yeah.
We'll enjoy it. Yeah.
Enjoy today. If you got some rain, watch your grass just kind of soak it up and hopefully turn green again. So
right, for a few days at least. Yeah, we'll take it. Thanks, Mike.
522, 75 degrees.
And coming up next, a first look at Amazon's Lord of the Rings spinoff, plus Diane Keaton is set to be honored.
A new story from the world of Lord of the Rings is headed to Amazon Prime Video.
CNN's Rick Damajola has that story and more in the Hollywood Minute.
The past is with us all. The past is dead. We either move forward or we die with it.
The second age of Middle-earth comes to life in The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. Set thousands of years before the events of The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, the 8-part series based on the works of J.R.R. Tolkien begins streaming on Prime Video September 2nd. Diane Keaton to be honored. Keaton will receive the Brass Ring Award at the 36th Carousel of Hope Ball. The charity event slated for October 8th will raise funds for the Barbara Davis Center for Diabetes.
Why is sexual harassment so pervasive and so hard to address? Let's interrogate the whole system.
Hi, my name is Jodi Cantor. I'm an investigative reporter for the New York Times.
A pivotal event of the Me Too era. Based on the New York Times Pulitzer Prize-winning investigation into Harvey Weinstein, She Said stars Carey Mulligan and Zoe Kazan as the journalists who broke the story. She Said arrives in theaters November 18th. In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damagella.
526, 75 degrees.
And still ahead on GMSA, why the U.S. is seeing a sudden rise in monkeypox cases, and an update on how many we're seeing here in San Antonio.
Plus, why Amazon may be giving out its Ring doorbell video to law enforcement without customer consent.
And NASA's new Webb telescope is showing off even more images. The newest ones are closer to home.
Making headlines this morning, the number of confirmed or probable monkeypox cases in the U.S. just shot up 40% in a single day. We have details on how many cases are in San Antonio.
And taking a look outside with live cam, what a nice Friday morning. We're at 75 degrees and very happy after at least some of us got some rain.
It's going to be a nice day. Good morning, everybody. It is Friday. It is July 15th. Yeah, 75 degrees out there.
Yes.
Mike is hinting it's going to be a beautiful sunrise. I can't wait.
Yes, it's beautiful now, and it's beautiful to know that we will not see triple digits, at least for today.
Yeah, I mean, some folks along the Rio Grande Valley may see a couple of them. We'll still have a bit of a heat index to deal with, but we've got some clear skies out there right now. There is the planet Venus, and obviously the sun's going to be following behind that in about an hour and 15 minutes or so. Temperature officially out there at the airport, 76 degrees, which 75 is the normal low. We're going to drop down another degree or so in the next couple of hours. 67 dew point. As far as the amount of moisture in the atmosphere, that is down a little bit from yesterday, a little more tolerable. And we've got a breeze, although not much, out of the northeast. And so that's why it is somewhat more comfortable. That was sort of on the tail end of that storm complex that moved on through here yesterday. And boy, cut the picture in half, cut the viewing area in half, and folks out there, West Bexar County and areas west, got a whole bunch of rain, especially this line from right around Fredericksburg all the way down through eastern Medina County. And some of those rainfall amounts, these are some of the radar estimates, more than 4 inches of rain, that one bullseye right down there, about 9/10 of an inch, almost an inch over there around Leon Valley, and just about 1.5 inches up in northwestern Bexar County. And then some folks got even more than that. Officially at the airport, zilch, zero, nothing out there. I got a couple of sprinkles in my backyard. Mold is on the low side. The updated count's going to come out in an hour and a half or so. 97 for a high temperature today, so that's going to be nice to stay, as Steph was alluding to, below triple-digit readings, and that 20% chance for 1 or 2 showers or a thunderstorm out there, kind of like what we had earlier on in the week. Not a repeat of yesterday. Any more rain chances going into this weekend? Any more of those double-digit numbers instead of triples? Details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, Stephen Cavasso's got a lot of problems out there, right?
Oh, my goodness, Mike. We actually had a viewer reach out to us about the situation taking place now along 35 at FM 482. Let's go ahead and get a wider look at TransGuide. I was just taking just came up on our rotation there. Not looking good. It is still a very blurry image, but we can see it looks like a mess out there. We're hearing this could possibly be in the southbound lanes of 35, and that area is a very busy commute for a lot of folks that are making their way into the Alamo City, perhaps in a Live Oak. Just make sure you watch this area carefully. We're going to have to look at some alternative routes, but 35 seems to be a big problem spot this morning. Let's take you to the wide look of the map. So we're not really seeing a lot here in town, but let's go ahead and start up with what we're seeing in New Braunfels. Some striping work that continues to take place. Northbound lanes are still being impacted there, but we're going to look for those alternative routes. Still kind of trying to comb through that, but haven't found something solid just yet. So hang tight. We're going to continue to try to find those resolutions for you as the morning does roll on. But unfortunately, we are still seeing some issues out over here just outside of Loop 1604 and off of I-37. That deadly crash here off New Mathis Road and Cannonwood Drive. We know Jonathan Gotho is still live there this morning. Jonathan, what have we been able to find out?
Thank you, Stephen. Well, yes, I'm right now off of New Mathis Road. This crash happening shortly after 3 o'clock this morning. I can tell you, medical examiner has just made the scene. The just intensifying as the morning progresses. We know people are leaving their homes and making their way to their jobs, and they're trying to figure out a way to navigate this incident. But let's talk about what happened here this morning. Sergeant with the Bexar County Sheriff's Office is telling us a man in his 20s was driving eastbound on New Mathis Road when he crashed into this driveway you see at the distance. He hit the concrete driveway. Truck flipped. He was driving a Chevy Silverado. That's what's left of that Chevy Silverado. The body still on scene. The truck landing on the male victim here in front of this home. We know that the neighbors were awoken to the loud bang of this crash. They're outside if they've been witnessing this incident this entire time. Again, this happening shortly after 3 o'clock this morning. TID up. They're part of the investigation, and as I was mentioning, medical examiners just making the scene, so they are expecting to remove the body here shortly within the next Of minutes, but again, it's been a busy morning for Bexar County Sheriff's Office, who have been out here in the area of Sandy Oaks. Again, one man is dead this morning, single vehicle deadly crash. We're going to remain on scene and update you as more information is made available. Reporting live from Sandy Oaks area, Jonathan Cotto, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, sir. New this morning, San Antonio police say a man was stabbed in the neck after leaving a restaurant on the city's west side overnight. Happened just before 11 o'clock in the 1100 block of Culebra near North Zarzamora. SAPD says the man was leaving a restaurant when someone approached him and demanded his property. That's when SAPD says the victim was stabbed. He managed to get to a nearby fire station for help. So far, no word on if police were able to catch the suspect.
And more than 2 years since the pandemic began, the Bexar County Courthouse has faced a backlog in criminal cases. And finally, it looks like they're catching up, but they can only move so fast. 79th District Court Judge Ron Rangel says there are 10 criminal district courts.
We're pushing cases as much as we can, and frankly, so much we can push. If the courts pushed any more, then you would start to see injustices in the courthouse.
Court officials plan on adding at least one more court to help handle people who are in custody. Judge Rangel says it should help with the backlog and relieve the jail population.
536, the number of reported U.S. monkeypox cases just jumped 40% in one day.
It includes 2 people in Bexar County that have tested positive, and that's according to San Antonio Metropolitan Health District. And as CNN's Amy Kiley reports, the supply of monkeypox vaccines in the U.S. isn't keeping up with demand.
They were at worst on more sensitive skin, excruciatingly painful.
Matt Ford is one of the growing number of Americans who've had monkeypox. He's describing how painful lesions from the disease can feel. Between Wednesday and last night, U.S. cases jumped 40%. Worldwide, they've surpassed 11,000. And officials say the real numbers are probably higher.
We should be and will be testing literally 10 times the amount of people that we were testing prior.
It's unclear if the U.S. jump is from increased testing, delayed reporting, or something else. But history suggests vaccinations could end the outbreak. Many vaccines prevent both monkeypox and smallpox. Smallpox was deemed eradicated more than 40 years ago, and the U.S. stopped vaccinating against it. So, shots are in short supply.
We got an allotment of 200 vaccines, and the appointments for that went in about an hour and a half.
The U.S. is importing more from Denmark.
Hundreds of thousands, really reaching to about 1.1 million, that will be available relatively soon.
With monkeypox costs looming, the House Speaker is urging Senate action on the stalled COVID relief.
Now we have the monkeypox, and that is another call for resources.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
A Washington, D.C. police officer in former President Trump's motorcade during the Capitol riots is confirming details of a heated Secret Service exchange. The officer recounted what they saw to the House Select Committee. Former White House aide Cassidy Hutchinson testified in June, saying the president was so mad a Secret Service agent blocked him from going to the U.S. Capitol. She says he tried to grab the motorcade steering wheel and lunged at the lead agent. The agents have not commented publicly on the testimony. However, the D.C. officer was able to verify details of that heated exchange.
Another 5 passengers have sued Uber over alleged sexual assault incidents at the hands of its drivers on its platform. Now, it's a reminder of the safety issues ride-hailing platforms are struggling with. Uber and its competitor Lyft have faced a flood of lawsuits recently. The incidents in this latest suit happened between August of 2021 and February of 2022 in Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, Illinois, and California. Uber said in a statement it does not comment on pending litigation. However, it takes every single report seriously and has built new safety features.
Exciting new images of Jupiter now available thanks to new technology from NASA. NASA's James Webb Space Telescope unveiled the mission's first science-quality images featuring Jupiter's rings, moons, and more. It highlights the $10 billion telescope's ability to study targets much closer to home. Webb Telescope launched back on December 25th.
Pretty neat. Time now, 5:39 and 75 degrees for now.
Still ahead, Amazon's smart doorbell company Ring is giving law enforcement doorbell video without owner consent. We'll talk about that coming up.
And up next, visiting area lakes and rivers, always a great way to cool off during the summer. Why low flow is causing concerns at some popular swimming destinations in our area.
Outside with live cam, this time of year, it doesn't get much better than this. 75 degrees here in San Antonio. It's going to be a great day. Mike's got your weekend forecast coming up. 542, extreme drought gripping most of Texas, and it's led to questions about water quality in our rivers and lakes.
RJ Market spoke with Nueces River Authority officials about testing water and the current state of some of the most visited swimming areas in South Texas.
Visiting the lake or river is always popular during summer, but low flow is causing concerns about standing water.
The warm water means it's stagnant. We don't recommend people swimming in stagnant waters.
Sam Shigerick is the director of water quality programs for the Nueces River Authority. They test the water at more than 50 sites across South Texas.
We generally encounter a lot of low flow conditions in the Nueces River Basin. In the hill country and the headwaters, there's usually pretty consistent flow coming from the springs.
Shigerick says despite the lack of rain, the Nueces River Authority has not found harmful levels of bacteria in the water, and that includes the Frio and Atascosa rivers.
We haven't identified any water quality concerns or impairments in the upper basin streams due to low flows. It's pretty much good quality water. There's just not a whole lot of it.
The Texas Commission on Environmental Quality has a threshold for dangerous bacteria in freshwater settings, but Shigerick said nothing has come close to reaching those numbers. But he does caution being safe around creeks that people do not visit often.
Smaller creeks that are kind of muddy bottomed and they aren't the best place for swimming, and those usually do have higher bacteria numbers.
The TCEQ also says drinking the water or ingesting it through your nose is an easy way to get bacteria into your system. Shigerick says it's also not a good idea to kick up the bottom of the riverbed or lake, especially if it's warm water.
Anytime the water is turbid or murky, in places where it is generally clear, that's a good sign that you should probably stay out of the water.
RJ Marquez, KSAT 12 News.
544, 75 degrees.
Coming up next, food waste is costing taxpayers billions each year. How some of the largest grocery store chains are trying to help. Welcome back. It's 546. In your morning consumer headlines, according to Forbes magazine, up to 40% of food in America goes to waste. That is upwards of 100 billion pounds of food, which is about $400 billion worth every year. So taxpayers end up paying for all the waste, and the reason is that corporations don't do more to cut down on waste is that discarded inventory counts as a tax deduction. Now, Kroger, America's largest grocery chain, said 4 years ago it would have zero food waste by 2025. Wasted food counts for an estimated 4% of Kroger's nearly $140 billion in sales each year.
Amazon's smart doorbell company Ring admits it's given law enforcement doorbell video without owners' consent. The company told Congress in a letter it's happened 11 times so far this year. In it, Amazon's VP of Public Policy said Ring often makes its own good faith determinations as to whether to provide the surveillance footage. Ring currently partners with more than 2,000 law enforcement agencies and nearly 500 fire departments that can request surveillance data from Ring doorbells.
And mortgage rates in the U.S. are on the rise once again. The 30-year fixed rate mortgage averaged just over 5.5% for the week that ended July 14th. That's according to Freddie Mac, and that's up from 5.3% the week before and nearly twice the amount it was at the time last year. Freddie Mac's chief economist says rates are at a high not seen in more than a decade, and that affordability will be a major hurdle for people looking to buy homes.
548, I keep glancing over at Stephen this morning, and he's just shaking his head. It's not been a good start.
Unfortunately, it's just we got our hands full over here for Friday morning, but we're going to get you through it. Let's talk about what we're seeing here off of 35 at FM 482. This is actually in the southbound lanes based on what we're seeing on our map. You can see a lot of first responders out there. Not a very great image, unfortunately. Called our friends at TransGuide. This is the best shot that they could give us, but we are seeing some slow moving traffic in the area. Nothing reported just yet, but based on the looks of this was not a planned construction spot. Could be an incident, possibly a crash. crash, but we know that it is definitely causing some issues for drivers. So let's take you right to it. That is in the southbound lanes, 482. You can see it right there where we're locating that buildup. Do want to give you a quick solution here. If you're still trying to navigate your way into San Antonio, exit Schwab Road, that is, and turn right. What you'll do then is turn left onto FM 482, continue a little bit further, then exit onto FM 2252. You'll hit the frontage road that way and avoid a little bit of that mess. But it does look like some folks may be taking that route. Also, still spotting some slowdowns up here as we travel up a little further north on 35, where we see that striping work continuing to take place. It's not improved, but quick detour just to get around it. Exit Ruckel Road and just to get on a loop 337. And again, that's just another alternative route you could take if you want to avoid that mess. But it has been a pretty busy morning. Doesn't look like it's getting any better. And we also have that deadly crash Jonathan Gotho is live at this morning near Cannon Road. So we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, down there in southeast Bexar County.
That's right, just off of I-37.
Stephen, thank you for the update, sir.
Yes, thank you. Oh, that's good news.
Yeah, make a lot of
folks
folks here. Wonderful news, make a lot of folks jealous. I mean, look at this over there at Scenic Hills. 2.6 inches of rain yesterday. That was absolutely beautiful, and you can probably just hear the grass just absorbing all that rain. Right now, we've got mostly clear skies out there. You can see a little bit of the glow of the sunrise, and I think it has gone up past that banner. But we were looking at the planet Venus there just a couple of minutes ago. 76 here in town, 70 Helotes, Rio Medina, 68 up the road, Bernie Stage, and temperatures are lower than what they have been, and it's a bit more comfortable this morning as well. The humidity's down ever so slightly. Of course, yesterday before the rain moved in, it was like every other day for recent memory, well up into the low hundreds around the area. But then a whole different story today. Most everybody is going to be mid-upper 90s around here. Now, a lot of computer models are keeping these temperatures in the kind of mid-lower 90s. I'm going for 97 officially here in town. And I think we'll see some numbers even higher than these just because the way that the trend has been. We get any sort of sunshine, which I'm going for sunshine, partly cloudy skies today. And I think that's really going to heat things up even more so, but we'll still just be at, I say just, 97 degrees, which is much closer to a normal high temperature. 90 today at noon, a few clouds around here. And yes, we will have that 20% chance for a few showers or thunderstorm, kind of like what we had earlier in the week, not a repeat of yesterday's rain. And yes, 97 high temperature, 2 above normal. And boy, but it feels like a cold snap compared to where we've been. Here's the computer model showing a couple of those showers, maybe a thunderstorm popping up later on today. Still could have a decent shower. Again, keep referring to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday afternoons when we had a couple of those popping up, and that's going to be going on in through the evening hours, and those are going to be fizzling on out, and that's pretty much going to be about it. And then we do see a return of some Saharan dust starting later on in the weekend and then peaking the first part of next week. As far as the tropics are concerned, still nothing going on. Not even any hints or anything raising any eyebrows there with the Hurricane Center. But of course, we are just a month and a half into the season, and that lasts through the end of November. So the forecast today, going to make it up to 90 today at noon. A couple of clouds around here. Good looking sunrise this morning. And then later on this afternoon, high temperature up to 97. 1 or 2 of those stray showers. Most of us won't see rain today. If you didn't get rain yesterday, hopefully you get a little bit today. But wouldn't put your hopes too high on that. 99 tomorrow, and then, yep, triple digits come back in here. And yes, a few folks obviously will see triple digits maybe in your backyard tomorrow. But then heat really gets cranked up once again going into next week, and especially the middle part of next week.
So next week, back to the new normal, I guess.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. This is a nice break.
I'm just loving we're down to 74 this morning.
I know. It's nice out there.
There's probably a doorbell camera of me walking outside this morning, outside my truck going,
Am I in the right place?
It's not sweater weather by any stretch, but mentally it almost seems like that.
Yeah, almost feels like we live up north this morning. 5:53, yes, 74 glorious degrees.
And let's look at your winning lotto numbers. Pick 3, 5, 3, 3, Fireball 9, Dilly 4, 4, 9, 6, 8, Fireball 9.
Your cash 5 numbers 2, 20, 24, 27, 31. Texas 2-step 1, 2, 7, 25, and a bonus ball of 15.
Good morning. Coming up here on GMA, the latest on President Biden's high-stakes and controversial Middle East trip. He is set to arrive in Saudi Arabia this morning, trying to get them to pump more oil to help bring down gas prices. We're there live. Also, we are tracking the summer COVID surge when 10 million people in the nation's most populated county could see the return of an indoor mask mandate in Los Angeles. That and so much more right here on Good Morning America.
We're getting a closer look at SeaWorld San Antonio's aquarium among the sea creatures there. 4 different types of sharks. SeaWorld experts are explaining the vital role they play in our ecosystem. You can take a look at this story right now on our website at KSAT.com. Ahead in the next hour of GMSA, everyone's talking about it and millions of people feel it, but what can you do about it? Coming up, we'll tell you how to help someone overcome their anxiety. Plus, a remarkable close encounter between an 11-year-old and a manatee and a surfboard. It's must-see video still ahead. And San Antonio emergency crews are calling the survival of a teen who got swept up in storm waters an absolute miracle. How it all unfolded coming up next at 6. The morning commute has been a problem in different spots. This is 35 at FM 482 up near New Braunfels right now. Just one of the spots we're monitoring this morning. Stephen Cavazos has more coming up. And Mike has your weekend forecast as we start out this Friday at a pleasant 74 degrees. This morning, it's a problem no neighborhood wants to have. An unwelcome guest exposing himself on doorbell cameras. Right now, he is still on the run.
And taking a look outside with live cam this morning, we are starting in the 70s. What a treat after this hot week. We're going to be checking in with Mike to see what we can expect this weekend.
Live from KSAT 12, Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
And good morning to you. It is Friday. It is July 15th.
That's right. We were very excited about the rain that we got yesterday. It was super cool for a lot of us here in the area and something we've been waiting for a long time. So it's definitely cooled off things for the morning.
It's very pleasant out there right now. As a matter of fact, if you get a second after we say hi here, get a second, go peek out the window, take a look at the sunrise. It's a gorgeous start to the day.
Or you can just look at this picture right behind you.
Or you could do that too.
Yeah.
That's the easy one. So that way you don't have to get off the couch right now. But anyway, yeah, gorgeous out there. We got a lot of clear skies as of right now. And we have temperatures that are some of the lowest we've seen around here in forever. And this is down to a normal average low temperature right now. 75 out there at the airport, 73 Converse, 60s in parts of the hill country. And the humidity, now Castroville, yeah, you still have some decent humidity around here, 70 Seguin, but elsewhere, I mean, it's not bad. It's not bone dry air by any stretch, but you aren't going to be like slapped in the face with a wet towel when you walk out the front door this morning. Mold is on the low side. The updated count's going to come out in about an hour and a half or so. And temperatures may still fluctuate a degree or two, right around normal low temperature, though, starting off this morning. And then we are going to make it up to 90 today at noon. Couple of clouds here and there. And high temperature today. Yep, it stopped at 97, which is really nice. We're not going to be hitting 100 today, so we're breaking that stretch of 14 days in a row of triple-digit temperatures out there at the airport. 1 or 2 showers or even a thunderstorm later on today, kind of like what we had a few days ago, not a repeat of yesterday. Big question, when did the triple digits return, or are they? Yeah, unfortunately. And are there any more rain chances after today? Details in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority. Been busy this morning, Stephen. What's going on?
It definitely has, Mike. We actually haven't even had a chance to really look around town and give our viewers an update about other spots that we're watching here from TransGuide. There is 37 at Cesar Chavez. Really seeing things move in without any trouble there. And thankfully, as we've entered the 6 a.m. hour, haven't spotted problem spots there. But 35 at FM 725. Wow. We know that striping work that started overnight continues to plague the drivers along I-35 in New Braunfels. But it's not the only spot that we've been seeing in terms of problems along the corridor there. Let's go ahead and take you right to it. We did have an incident here along the southbound lanes, not far from FM 482, when you continue to see a little bit of a buildup. Now, the good news is I just checked the corner of my eye here that it does look like first responders were able to clear out pretty quickly after a few minutes or so, but still seeing a little bit of a buildup. Trying to avoid that, as a quick reminder, exit Schwab Road, take a right and turn left at FM 482. Continue a little bit further, you'll hit the frontage road there by getting on to FM 2250. 52. But hopefully in the next few minutes, you really won't need that detour, but we're going to have to watch it closely. Taking you right back up to New Braunfels. As you see here, we have that striping work that is also causing some issues along the northbound lanes at FM 725. So it has been a pretty busy morning. Giving you a wide look at the map, you can see just a lot of those active construction spots still remain in the metro area. So make sure you watch for those first responders who are out there on the scene. But it has been a very busy morning. But back here on TransGuide, things look to be shaping up a little bit better. Guys.
Thank you, Stephen. To some late breaking news we've been following all morning here on GMSA. A deadly crash just outside of San Antonio in southeast Bexar County off of I-37.
Jonathan Cotto joins us live at the scene with the very latest. And Jonathan, what have you learned so far?
Good morning, Stephanie. Good morning, Mark. Well, that's right. I'm located in southeast Bexar County in the area of Sandy Oaks, where we know Bexar County Sheriff's Office responded to the scene of a single vehicle deadly crash involving a man in his 20s. I'm going to step out of the scene. That way, photojournalist Stephen Chavez can show you what this scene looks like right now on your screen. That is what's left of a Chevy Silverado. Sergeant on scene tells us the driver of that Silverado was heading eastbound on New Mathis Road when he crashed into the concrete driveway of this home out here on southeast Bexar County, and it flipped. He was ejected and he flipped. Now, interesting details about this crash this morning. They did find open containers inside of that pickup truck. Now, they are unsure if he was leaving a bar, but they tell us that the driver isn't from this area. So they find that interesting that he was in this part of the woods, considering that he is not from this area. So all that is under investigation. But again, we know Bexar County Sheriff's Office responded to the scene shortly after 3 o'clock this morning. This crash involving a male driver in his 20s who unfortunately lost his life here this morning in front of this home where the folks have been up since 3 o'clock this morning, outside on their front porch, just witnessing this crash unfold from the very beginning. But of course, the good news here right now is that the tow truck has made the scene. They are attempting to get that Silverado out of the ditch. Folks in this area of Sandy Oaks can expect to have this road cleared here in the next couple of minutes. But of course, again, this crash is under investigation, and we'll update you as more information is made available. Reporting live, Jonathan Cotto, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Jonathan. People in a northeast side neighborhood on high alert after San Antonio police say a man went to multiple homes, exposing himself in the middle of the night. Residents' doorbell videos caught the guy on camera. Neighbors say he's been on their street, Vailcrest, at least 3 times since Sunday. That's near Nacogdoches and Thousand Oaks. They believe he's hit at least 10 homes in the area, even jumping over one woman's fence.
I can't describe waking up and looking at your camera and seeing a naked man standing in front of your windows, bending over, trying to look into your house. I feel violated, absolutely violated.
You don't know what that next move's going to be. You know what's in his head and what he's thinking.
Both people we talked to, as you can see there, wish to stay anonymous. SAPD tells us they're investigating and working on getting an ID by using the videos they were provided.
What could have been a tragic situation is now being called an absolute miracle by San Antonio emergency crews after a teen who got swept up in high waters in a drainage ditch was rescued alive. Now, this incident happened around 7:30 p.m. last night in the 200 block of Newsom north of Woodlawn Lake. Now, Fire Chief Charles Hood said that crews were called for reported drowning in the area after recent rain showers. And when officials got there, they found that a 13-year-old boy had slipped on an embankment while walking with his family and fell into high waters in a drainage ditch. Chief Hood said they had a boat on the lake searching for the teen. He was underwater and ended up almost lost in the darkness, but heard voices and followed the emergency lights and walked out to rescuers.
He was walking out, kind of crouching very low in there. He saw our lights and we heard his voice, and so we were able to get him. But our crews were probably in there about a mile each direction. So he probably traveled 1.5 miles to 2 miles through all the different curves and of that tunnel system.
The chief reiterating how dangerous these downpours can be. He says a lot of times it's a body recovery, so they're extremely happy they were able to locate this teen.
This This morning's search continues for a missing teenager. 13-year-old Denisha Jones was last seen Wednesday on Estrad Trail near the Converse area. Bexar County deputies say she was last seen wearing a blue and gray jacket, white shorts, and black and white Croc shoes. She has black hair, brown eyes, and gold-colored braids. If you have any information that could help, you're asked to call the BCSO Missing Persons Unit. That number is on your screen now, 210-335-6000.
Topping your morning headlines, the Buffalo grocery store that was the site of a mass shooting 2 months ago is set to reopen today. A new memorial outside the store honors the 10 people who died in the attack. But there are changes inside to enhance security. The store now has wider aisles with better sight lines, increased professional security, and an emergency evacuation alarm system. There's also an emergency exit.
Ivana Trump, former President Trump's first wife, has died at the age of 73 at her home in Manhattan. The former president made the announcement himself on Truth Social Thursday afternoon. The former president wrote, "Her pride and joy were her 3 children, Donald Jr., Ivanka, and Eric," end quote. On Twitter, her son Eric called her a radiant beauty and a caring mother and friend. The NYPD says her death is not considered suspicious, and it appears she died from natural causes.
Happening tomorrow, the Universal Suicide Crisis Hotline will have a new number, and it's easy to remember, 988. And it will be available in every state starting Saturday. Year after year, tens of thousands of people in the U.S. take their own lives. In 2020, the CDC said it happened every 11 minutes. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline will have trained counselors available 24/7, and that current number, 1-800-273-TALK, will also stay in place.
Friday morning, 6:09, 74 degrees.
And still to come on GMSA at 6, you've been asked to conserve power during the hottest times of the day, but are local companies doing their part to keep your lights on and your AC on?
Plus, President Biden taking a controversial trip to Saudi Arabia after the break, why resetting a relationship with the kingdom can help us avoid pain at the pump later.
And what a treat, taking a look outside with live cam. Beautiful sunrise there.
Wow.
And also nice that we're starting in 74 degrees. That's awesome. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, 6:13. As you know by now, the heat has put a huge strain on our power grid. Residents have been asked to conserve, but what about big companies and those large buildings? City of San Antonio is considering a plan that would put an energy benchmark on local companies to see how much energy they're using. The push, part of a nationwide effort to lower greenhouse gas emissions. San Antonio City Council will hear the energy benchmark draft proposal later this year. It would impact companies with buildings larger than 50,000 square feet. Well, this morning, President Biden takes that controversial trip to Saudi Arabia.
The president looking to reset the U.S. relationship with that key security ally and boost the flow of oil to help lower gas prices. ABC's Jay O'Brien has more from Washington.
As President Biden wraps up the Israeli leg of his Mideast tour, all eyes now turn to Saudi Arabia and what he'll say to Saudi officials today about the 2018 murder of Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi, which the CIA concluded was ordered by Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman.
What will you say to Saudi leaders, specifically to Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, about the Khashoggi murder?
My views on Khashoggi have been absolutely positively clear. And I have never been quiet about talking about human rights.
On the campaign trail, Biden condemned the killing.
In fact, make them pay the price and make them, in fact, the pariah that they are.
But the administration now saying the trip's purpose is to stabilize the Middle East, strengthen the U.S.-Saudi alliance, and discuss ways the kingdom can help the U.S. outcompete adversaries like Russia and China. Many hoping the presidential visit to the world's top oil exporter will help bring down soaring gas prices at home.
The United States understands that Saudi Arabia continues to be an incredibly important player in the global energy market. I think they would like to see more oil coming out of OPEC.
And the meeting coming amid a historic announcement from the Saudi government officially opening its airspace to all Israeli air carriers, marking a new era of civilian travel between the two countries. President Biden will also fly today from Tel Aviv, Israel to Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. He will be the first American president to travel that route. Jay O'Brien, ABC News, Washington.
6:16 on your Friday morning.
Let's go ahead and check back with Stephen Cavazos about the busy morning he's been having.
I'm feeling a lot better now. I think a lot of drivers are going to feel that way as well. We saw some issues, a lot of issues along I-35, and some of them still causing some problems. But as we get a quick look around town, looking a lot better. We did have a problem off of 35 southbound that cleared out. Not sure exactly what it was, but it looked like it could have been a crash. Thankfully, again, not causing issues for drivers in that direction anymore. But elsewhere, you can see things are off to a pretty decent start. 410 at Broadway, still seeing some construction that's continuing to take place. Hopefully that will wrap up. But let's go ahead and take you to where we're still seeing that striping work. Northbound lanes, not far from FM 725, still causing a little bit of a buildup, but it's not as bad as we saw it earlier. In fact, it's improving, but hopefully as we start to see the morning roll on, we'll see those crews roll out. But make sure you give them plenty of room while they're out there. Wide look at the map does show, again, quiet start here in the metro area, but a lot of problems a little bit further south. We know Jonathan Gotho's been talking about that deadly crash, and we'll have more on that coming up a little bit later on. It's just offside Loop 1604 and off I-37, so we'll have more from that a little bit later. But if you're going to be traveling in from any of these communities, you're in luck. No need to rush out the door just yet. It is a pretty decent start in terms of the commute. There are 29 minutes, Seguin coming into those westbound lanes on I-10, a little more than half an hour, 87 in Livonia, and a 28-minute drive time coming up from Floresville. So don't rush when you get out the door. But 281 at St. Mary's, and I always want to say Mike has some amazing sunrises, but I did want to end with this. We got something pretty here to show too, Mike.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
do.
What you got, Mike?
That's nice too.
Those are some nice shots on the
all
Trans
these,
Guy cameras.
all these different cameras.
This is a good competition. It's healthy.
But you know, it's healthy competition, but I always think Mike takes the cake because he gets the viewer photos and they're stunning.
Oh, yes.
That's true.
And a lot of the photos, though, have been of the rain yesterday. So, you know, folks are going, now skip the sunrise. We want to, you know, and wish there was more rain in the offing, unfortunately. But, you know, a couple of showers later on today. That system we had moving through yesterday was just a blessing for a lot of folks. Right now, we are at 75 degrees. That is the normal average low temperature. I want to say that's the first time in memory almost in forever that we've been down to a normal low temperature, some 60s in portions of the hill country. And that top number, dew point, is not bad. We're still above 60. That's always that threshold number when the dew points get above that. Yes, some humidity out there, but again, it's not too bad. And we have a light little breeze primarily out of the north. So there has been somewhat of a kind of a front line across the area associated with that system that moved through yesterday. And boy, that's an ominous looking picture. Never seen that many clouds in forever. Mr. McFarland took that over there by Woodlawn Lake, and he got soaked enjoying all of that great rain. A lot of folks on the west side did get plenty of rain. East side, just about nothing. So yesterday we did chalk up our 14th day in a row of triple-digit temperatures, and that's coming to an end. So we will not get up into third place. It's going to be 97 today, so that was a nice thing to break now today. 75 here in town, 67 Comfort, 68 at Bernie Stage, and a little bit more humidity down to the south. We will make it up into once that sun gets obviously a little bit higher in the sky, things will warm up in through the 80s. We'll make it up to 90 at noon. A couple of clouds out there, and only going for 97 today. As a matter of fact, a lot of computer models are actually wanting to keep us even cooler than that, only about say mid to lower 90s, but I think just, you know, with that little bit of sunshine and the way things have been going, it doesn't take much just to kind of, you know, turn on the broiler and heat us up, but we will stay down below, and that's thanks in part to some of the moisture in the ground from some of that rain. We'll stay below 90, or stay below, I wish it was below 90, stay below 100 today. And later on this afternoon, we will have a few more clouds moving on in here, and that obviously will help to keep some of the temperatures down. One or two of those showers or thunderstorms trying to pop up later on this afternoon. It's going to be like what we had Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, not yesterday. So just very few and far between. Most of us won't see anything. It's going to be one of those where you'll be looking at the radar today and going, please come into my backyard. But they kind of pop up and then they'll sort of rain themselves out a little bit. There, once again, is the going back 12 hours, that beautiful rain that moved on through. But again, the majority of it was just on the west side, almost cut the area in half along 281. east of there, except for the coastal plain, hardly got anything. There were a few showers around Wilson, Atascosa counties, but obviously the majority of it was off to the west. Notice that still clockwise kind of rotation right here. That's the high, which is just about right on top of us. We did get the disturbance coming around that clockwise rotation, and that's where we got the beautiful rain from. But that high, which it's weakening slightly, some other factors coming in here, and that's why temperatures won't be at triple digits, but it is going to kind of come back as we go into next week, which means triple digits will be coming back. 90 at noon today, partly cloudy skies. High temperature is going to make it up to 97, one or two of those stray showers. By the way, the normal average high is 95, so we're much, much closer to that today. Tomorrow, creep up a little bit, and then, back to the triple digits. Sunday in through next week, and it is going to get much hotter by the middle of next week, and probably even more. Weather Service this morning was talking about issuing perhaps even more heat advisories or excessive heat warnings next week.
Okay, speaking, it's not just hot here. The UK apparently just issued their first red alert for extreme heat for next Monday and Tuesday. It's going to be unbelievably hot in Britain, so they are planning ahead.
Which is very unusual for them.
Extraordinarily rare.
With the way they get the current coming around in the Atlantic Ocean, which usually keeps them on the coolish side.
Yes,
So.
at least we're kind of used to it here. It's going to be difficult.
And parts of the UK do not have AC, so there it is. 622, 74 degrees.
And just ahead, a four-legged wedding crasher going viral after a dramatic entrance at his owner's wedding. The must-see video coming up next.
Trilogy for COPD.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new
COPD
dawn,
may have gotten
it's
you
a new
here,
day,
but you decide what's next. Start a new day
and
with
I'm
Trilogy.
feeling good.
No once-daily COPD medicine has the power to treat COPD in as many ways as Trilogy. With 3 medicines in one inhaler, Trilogy helps people breathe easier and improves lung function. It also helps prevent future flare-ups. Trilogy won't replace a rescue inhaler for sudden breathing problems. Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition or high blood pressure before taking it. Do not take Trilogy more than prescribed. Trilogy may increase your risk of thrush, pneumonia, and osteoporosis. Call your doctor if worsened breathing, chest pain, mouth or tongue swelling, problems urinating, vision changes, or eye pain occur. Take a stand and start a new day with Trilogy. Ask your doctor about once daily Trilogy and save at Trilogy.com.
I love that video. I just saw it yesterday.
Very, very cute. So this morning, a four-legged wedding crasher is going viral after running down the aisle to greet his owners. And as we all know, weddings are supposed to be where you put a ring on it. But in this case of this yellow lab named Colonel, the groom reached in his jacket and pulled out a rawhide treat. Colonel's owners say they are so glad all their friends and family got to see it live.
Check out this close encounter for a young boy down in Florida. A manatee borrowed 11-year-old Evan's surfboard during a birthday trip to the beach. The manatee nudges the board, eventually puts its flipper on top, basically taking it from him. The family says Evan first thought it was a shark. The reaction's a little different, but the manatee actually wanted to play. They're actually quite docile.
Aww. Time now, 6:26 and 74 degrees for now.
Still ahead at 6:30, a soul food staple on San Antonio's east side is shutting down for good. A look at why and how the owners will continue its legacy in other ways.
I think that was the wrong video.
It was.
And you've been hearing about monkeypox a lot lately as cases are discovered here in the Alamo City. So we want to separate the fact from the fiction. Don't miss what we've uncovered next.
Good morning, I'm Jonathan Cotto. The scene is now clearing, but it's been a long morning for Bexar County Sheriff's Office, who's been responding to the scene of a single vehicle deadly crash. Coming up on GMSA, we'll have details.
Outside with live cam, absolutely picture perfect sunrise, a beautiful way to start a Friday, even better. Temperatures are at in the mid 70s out there, very pleasant. Mike says we get a breather before we return to the really hot weather this weekend. Good morning, everybody. It's Friday, the 15th.
Happy Friday. Yeah, beautiful out there. No complaints from me, especially with the weather as well. It's just a nice little break from all the heat we've had.
And again, Mike said we could see some showers and storms late yesterday into last night, and some people did win that lottery.
Yeah, especially west side of San Antonio, west side of Bexar County. You picked up a ton of rain, and the rest of us are kind of going, Okay, maybe today we'll see one or two of those showers popping up. Beautiful sunrise, almost too bright for this camera to handle. We've got temperature right now of 75 degrees. That is what you would expect for the middle of July. We're finally down to a normal low temperature, 2.67. That's not bad, and a light little breeze, hardly any, but it is primarily out of the north right now, and that's kind of a well, not really a front, but just that dividing line that sort of moved on in here with those showers and storms yesterday, and that has actually helped to knock temperatures down somewhat. Mold is on the low side. The updated count's going to come out a little bit later on, and not bad really. A little more humidity down to the south, and then later on today, mid to upper 90s. That's it. Some areas may stay even in the mid to lower 90s, and we will have one or two of those stray storms out there, kind of like what we had in the first portion of the week. Hot, but not quite up to 100 tomorrow, but it had to return. Yep, more triple digits, and it's going to be getting hotter as the week rolls on. We're going to take a closer look at the weekend forecast and rain chances today. It's coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, it is not a very good Friday out there, is it?
No. And unfortunately, Mike, we do have another incident here off of I-10 at Probant. You can see it does look like some sort of 18-wheeler or big rig is experiencing some trouble out there. Not exactly sure what type of trouble, but that could cause an issue for drivers that are commuting through that area. So no point of direction just yet. We'll talk to our friends at TransGuide a little bit later on, but you can see based on that shot, the morning is picking up. So just make sure to drive safe. Some of those issues we talked about here on our map have already cleared out, and you can see just a lot of those active construction zones. 35, wow, we had a lot of issues up toward New Braunfels a little bit earlier this morning. Those have already resolved, but we know that area is a major gateway, as I always like to remind drivers, for folks commuting into the Alamo City. So just keep that in mind if you plan on heading out to coming in the southbound lanes of New Braunfels. Drive carefully. But back here at TransGuide, we're getting a closer look as our friends are zooming in. You can see that it does look like we have some sort of tow truck out there, flashing lights, not sure what type, but we'll talk to them a little bit later on. But it has been a busy morning, and unfortunately a deadly one as well. Let's go live to Jonathan Cotto, who is covering a crash for us at New Mathis Road and Cannonwood Drive. Jonathan, the scene was clearing just moments ago. What's it look like now?
Thank you, Stephen. A busy morning indeed. Right now, as you mentioned, the scene is clearing up. As we can see here, that Chevy Silverado involved in this deadly crash is now atop of that tow truck. In just a couple of minutes, folks out here that are trying to gain access to New Mathis Road will be able to do so here on New Mathis Road and Cannonwood Drive, where it all happened this morning. We know Bexar County Sheriff's Office responded to the scene shortly after 3 o'clock. They tell us a male driver in his 20s was traveling eastbound on New Mathis Road when he hit the driveway in front of this home. Right there on your screen, you can see now that we have some daylight, the impact on that concrete barrier over that driveway where he impacted it. The truck went airborne, he was ejected, and unfortunately his own truck landing on top. Now we are told that the driver is not from this area, so it's unclear what he was doing in this area at that hour. Police also tell us that they found open containers inside of his vehicle as well. The details of this crash, of course, are under investigation. We're going to remain on scene and update you as more information is made available. Reporting live from Southeast Bexar County, Jonathan Cotto, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Jonathan. New this morning, an overnight stabbing incident on the west side leaves one man with serious injuries. Happened just before 11 last night at Culebra and Zarzamora. That's where police say a man in his 40s was stabbed in the neck by another man who tried to rob him. The victim was able to get to a nearby fire station for help. We're told he refused to be taken to the hospital and is not cooperating with investigators.
Cleanup is underway after an overnight fire on the east side. It happened a little after 1:30 this morning on a road called Sherman. That's near North Geaver Street and I-35. So crews say a home that was under construction was fully engulfed when they got there. No one was hurt, but part of that structure did collapse. It's still not clear what sparked the flames. And you have probably heard the word monkeypox a lot more these days, especially after 2 cases were confirmed right here in San Antonio. So this morning, we want to separate the fact from fiction.
So what is monkeypox? Metro Health says it's similar to smallpox, but it's milder. It does not require hospitalization. The illness usually lasts 2 to 4 weeks. Some of you have asked if there's a vaccine for this. Metro Health says you can use the smallpox vaccine to prevent monkeypox infections. Right now, supplies are limited, so those vaccines are only being offered to close contacts during Metro Health investigations. City of Austin says they have community spread of that illness, but here at home, Metro Health says the risk to the public remains low. Doctors still recommend avoiding skin-to-skin contact in large crowds like at nightclubs. The illness can also be spread by clothes worn by someone with monkeypox. Symptoms include a rash, fever and chills, and swollen lymph nodes. You do see unexplained blisters or bumps on your body, you should speak immediately with your doctor.
As the cases of monkeypox continues to rise in the U.S., there's growing frustration about the low supply of vaccines. However, Dr. Anthony Fauci says more shots are on the way from Denmark. About 1.1 million doses of the vaccine should be available soon. As more doses become available, more people will be eligible for the shot. Nearly 1,500 cases have been confirmed in the U.S.
Meanwhile, the pandemic having a big impact on a soul food staple on San Antonio's east side. The owners of Mr. and Mrs. G say it's partly why they're shutting down. They've been serving comfort food for over 30 years, but they're closing at the end of the month. The family hopes to continue its legacy in other ways, like selling their specialties at markets and other events.
And more fallout after the leaked video showing law enforcement response to the shooting at Robb Elementary in Uvalde. Yesterday, Governor Greg Abbott saying once again he was initially misled about the details of that day. The governor told reporters in Houston that none of the information in the video was shared with him and called the video shocking to see. Since that deadly shooting on May 24th, there have been multiple conflicting statements given by officials about law enforcement response.
In your morning headlines, the House of Representatives has passed a resolution written in part by Texas Congressman Joaquin Castro that asks that Rwanda's government release Paul Rusesabagina. He's the hero of the Rwandan genocide and a political prisoner who's been unlawfully detained since 2020. His actions during the Rwandan genocide were dramatized in the 2004 movie Hotel Rwanda.
White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre is responding to Attorney General Ken Paxton. The state of Texas is suing the Biden administration over its guidance that doctors should perform an abortion if doing so would protect a person's health. She said in part, it is unthinkable that this public official would sue to block women from receiving life-saving care in emergency rooms, a right protected under U.S. law. This is a story that we are following closely, and you can look for the latest on air and online.
Border Patrol agents continue to see people crossing the border, and now the city of Eagle Pass is using a new processing center to help keep up. The new facility holds 1,000 people. The area has an older facility that can hold 500. Right now, both centers are being used, but the plan is to eventually shut down that older processing center.
And new this morning on KSAT.com, some hill country spots topped the Texas Travel Awards. They looked at 4 areas: arts, culture, families and foodies, and outdoor adventures, and asked people to share their favorite destination. A panel of judges, including KSAT's David Elder, decided on the winners.
The destination of the year went to South Padre Island, but many of the other category winners were in the hill country. For example, Green Hall, Texas' oldest continually operating dance hall, won 3 of the categories: iconic tourist attraction, live music venue, and place to dance. You can read more about the winners on our homepage at KSAT.com.
Time now 6:39 and 74 degrees for now.
Experts say there's a fine line between stress and anxiety. After the break, how you can tell the difference.
And welcome back at 6:42. 40 million adults in the U.S. are affected by anxiety disorders each year.
That's almost the entire population of the state of California. But how do you know if what you're feeling is anxiety or stress, and how can you help?
RJ Marcus has the answers.
I would say that a lot of us are under stress. Sometimes stress can lead to anxiety, and when it crosses over to anxiety, then you're going to see more physical symptoms.
Psychologist Kathleen McHugh says there's a fine line between stress and anxiety. When symptoms start to interfere with how you're functioning, your sleep, your eating, your work, how you feel physically, you may have anxiety. Experts say first, distract yourself.
It can be scrolling on your phone, it can be texting someone, it can be getting up out of your seat, changing your environment.
Your life matters.
Practice positive self-talk. Focus on stopping your negative inner voice, and don't be afraid to relax.
So our minds and our bodies are so intertwined that when our mind is anxious, our body is usually tense. And sometimes we can relax our body and get our mind to follow along.
Always validate, never dismiss anxious feelings.
Don't say, there's nothing to be anxious about, or why are you anxious about that, or that doesn't make any sense.
And lay out a plan to help get through what's triggering those feelings.
So you're not just ruminating about it, or you're not just stressing about it. You've got a plan.
With ways to help calm your fears, I'm Nancy Alvarez reporting.
And that was not RJ Marcus reporting. We apologize about that. We do have Stephen Cavazos in the studio to tell us
For
about
sure.
traffic.
Let's check. Is it Stephen? It is Stephen Cavazos.
Yes.
Hi, Stephen.
Hi. I haven't gone anywhere yet. And just to add to that story, for anyone that's stressed, I meditate. Early in the morning. First thing I do, even this early in the morning, I make sure to meditate. So if you have to head out the door and maybe turn on the news and you see some of this stress out there, just relax. We're going to get you through it as well. So let's go ahead and get a wide look at TransGuide, because the commute is shaping up to look just okay. 35 at Olympia. We did see some issues along the corridor as folks were getting the early morning commute started. Those have cleared out, but now we're in morning rush, so things are expected to get busy. So keep that in mind. Drive safe. Don't rush out the door. Nothing major slowing you down as we give you that wide look at the map. But we still have an issue over here off I-10 in the eastbound lanes. We showed you this a little bit earlier. It was a stall 18-wheeler, and it does look like, again, that's in the eastbound lanes, not far from ProBench. So watch out there. Hopefully it won't impact anybody's drive time, but right now looks like you're still in the green. And if you are going to be traveling into San Antonio, we are green across the board here as well. 37, still a pleasant drive if you're coming in from Pleasanton. 28 minutes, about half an hour on Highway 90 coming in the eastbound lanes. And your arrival from Lytle on I-35 northbound is going to be in about 16 minutes to the Alamo City. So things are looking a lot better than where we started. So we're breathing a sigh of relief. Going to enjoy it for now and maybe grab a cup of coffee while we can.
Thank you, Stephen. A very special day, Mike.
Yes, indeed. My oldest, this little guy.
Oh, wow.
No longer 20 years old today.
Aw, happy birthday.
Yes. That was the very first fish he caught. I remember that one. So.
Happy birthday, buddy.
Yeah. And I mean, doesn't it seem like just yesterday? I mean, I remember exactly, 20 years ago, but, and really in reality, he is almost that tall compared to me right now, so yeah, but anyway, love you, big boy. Happy birthday. And beautiful sunrise starting off this morning, and it's even prettier for a lot of folks given the fact you had all that rain yesterday. Some folks, especially on the west side, picked up just a ton of it. 75 in town. That is right where you would expect for a July the 15th. 69 Bulverde, 68 up the road at Bernie Stage. And yeah, it was that swath, especially from about Fredericksburg down toward Cotulla and just to the south of Eagle Pass, where some of the heaviest rain was yesterday. These are some of the radar estimates. Right around Bernie, about 1.5 inches. There is that bullseye there in southeastern Medina County, a little more than 4 inches estimated on radar, and up around Gillespie County, about 2 inches. A lot of that obviously in the recharge zone, which is going to help out as well. And on the west side of San Antonio, about 8 inches, about 0.8 of an inch, pardon me, over there right around Leon Valley. And yeah, then you got into downtown, and right, if you were east of 10, you probably got a couple of sprinkles, and that was about it. But the heaviest rain was off there to the west. Castroville got a good dousing of rain as well. Now, we do still have chances of rain today, although not as good a chance as what we had yesterday. We are going to be at 75 degrees, getting up to the low 80s by 9 o'clock, 90 at noon, and then the other nice thing, beautiful sunrise, some rain yesterday, and only 2 digits in each of these columns here. So 97 for a high temperature today, 2 above the normal high, and that 20% chance for 1 or 2 of those showers to pop up, again, kind of like what we had the first part of the week, which computer models are indicating by mid to late afternoon, just here or there, kind of scattershot, and that's going to be the situation in through dinner time and the first portion of the evening, and then those will continue to die down. That high, which is off to the northwest of us, around the clockwise flow, this is what took this little bit of energy and threw it on in here yesterday. We don't have any more of those little bits of energy, or at least nothing showing up as of right now. So this thing is just going to stay in place, although we will stay just below 100 today as well as tomorrow. Then as we go into the rest of the weekend and first part of next week, that high is going to sort of strengthen just a little bit. We're still hoping for, this flow coming in here off the Gulf, but there's just nothing really showing up. And then high continues to sort of build in, and the picture as we go into the middle part of next week is not good, because that thing once again covers the southern half, 2/3 of the country, just going to be sitting on top of us, which means more triple-digit temperatures and getting even hotter as we go on into the middle portion of next week. 90 at noon, partly cloudy skies. High temperature, again, 97 today. 1 or 2 of those showers, a couple of thunderstorms out there. I'm going to give it a 20% chance for some rain this afternoon. 99 tomorrow, and back to the triple digits to start off next week, and getting even hotter, probably more heat advisories and perhaps excessive heat warnings by the middle of next week.
Today's almost like a kid with chubby cheeks, though. You just walk up to it and you're like, oh, you true.
Good analogy. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, we really like you today, Friday. Yes. 6:49, about 74 degrees.
And have you found about yourself online that you wish you could delete? Well, now you can. Tomorrow on GMSA, what you need to know.
Now they tell us. Outside with Live with us on this Friday morning, we are going to wrap up GMSA after this break.
Good morning. Coming up here on GMA, the latest on President Biden's high-stakes and controversial Middle East trip. He is set to arrive in Saudi Arabia this morning, trying to get them to pump more oil to help bring down gas prices. We're there live. Also, we are tracking the summer COVID surge when 10 million people in the nation's most populated county could see the return of an indoor mask mandate in Los Angeles. That and so much more right here on Good Morning America.
Busy morning for Bexar County Sheriff's Office responding to the scene of a deadly single vehicle crash happening here in southeast Bexar County. Now, we know the scene is now clearing, but deputies tell us this all happened shortly after 3 o'clock this morning when a male driver in his 20s driving a Chevy Silverado impacted this concrete barrier over the driveway of this home on New Mathis Road. Now, the details surrounding this crash are under investigation. We'll update you as more information is made available. Reporting from Southeast Bexar County, Jonathan Cotto, KSAT 12 News.
Coming up today on GMSA 9, after seeing an increase in the number of people at Travis Park during these dangerously hot days, a local business owner across the park wanted to help.
Tiffany Huertas is going to give us a look at what that business owner did that sparked the community's involvement. Plus, a local teen wins top honors at the National High School Music Theater Awards.
Those stories and much more today on GMSA at 9.
And time now 6:54. Let's check back with Stephen Cavazos.
Okay, so we've had a pretty busy start to the morning, thank you. But as we get a look here, 35 at FM 725, completely different shot than what we started the morning with. We know we saw a lot of crews out there for some striping work that took place a little bit earlier in the morning, but it did cause some pretty significant delays for drivers. So now you're in the clear as we get a drive around town. 281 at San Pedro, not looking too bad as the morning commute is starting to pick up. We are in that hour of morning rush, so just remember as you head out the door not to speed, follow the rules of the road, and be kind to other drivers out there. However, that incident that we told you about on I-10, we did see an update from TxDOT that it was reported as a crash in the westbound lanes not far from Probent. That is already cleared out, so that's not going to cause any issues for drivers in the area. But as we take it back here to TransGuide, funny shot there, but as we take a look around town, still seeing some work on Broadway, but that hasn't really been causing much of a slowdown. We'll keep an eye on things and have more updates right here on GMSA, Mike.
Grab some sunglasses because, boy, it is bright out there and temperatures were at 74. We've actually dropped below the normal low temperature for the first time in forever, and 73 out there by Randolph, 60s in parts of the hill country. Humidity's not bad this morning either, and we're going to make it up to a 90 at noon. 97 high temperature today. A couple of showers going to be popping up later on this afternoon, and then it's back to the triple digits by Sunday going into next week. And the teen you're going to have on your show, I met him about 6-7 years ago when he was playing with my son, Nicky, talented kid, obviously winning that award. So.
Congratulations.
Well, more coming up at 9. And good luck in your triathlon tomorrow.
Triathlon.
Good luck,
I get to see the San Antonio Roadrunners women's run. I'm very excited. And I get to run 5K.
Okay.
Not triathlon.
Right. But good luck anyway.
Thank you. You guys have a great weekend.